across the endless seas of sand, beneath the scorching sun and the silent glow of moonlit nights, whispers speak of a beast. A monster said to be swifter than the wind, deadlier than any weapon, and more ruthless than the darkest thoughts of the human mind. According to legend, it is as if nature's most dangerous creatures were fused into one. The body of a lion, the tail of a scorpion, and the face of a man, a grotesque parody of life at once familiar and terrifying. This is the Manticore. Medieval travelers swore it could wipe out entire villages, erasing people as if they had never existed. And the most horrifying detail, the Manticore hunts only humans. By the end of this video, you'll discover why so many believe the Manticore is not merely a myth, but a chilling reflection of humanity's darkest side. The Manticore is one of the most fearsome beasts of Persian and Indian mythology, later carried into Greek and eventually European lore. It is most often described with the muscular body of a lion, the venomous tail of a scorpion, and the distorted face of a human. Some accounts claim its tail fires poisoned spines that pierce armor, while others describe its thunderous leaps as powerful enough to shred a man in an instant. In medieval bestiaries, it was depicted as a servant of Satan, a demon created for the sole purpose of destroying mankind. Its very name comes from the Persian Martyrs war, meaning man-eater. And true to its name, the Manticore always embodies death, terror, and merciless cruelty. The earliest references to the Manticore come from the Persian royal courts, where it was spoken of as the embodiment of the wild, inexplicable dangers lurking beyond civilization. In India, it was said to stalk the dense jungles and open savannas, striking only at night, devouring human flesh. Greek writers such as Ctesias, in the 4th century BC, described it in detail. A beast with red fur, 3 rows of teeth, and a deadly scorpion's tail. Later in Christian theology, the Manticore became an allegory of Satan himself, evil disguised with a human face, made all the more terrifying because of its familiarity. The Manticore is most often depicted as a massive lion-like predator, muscular and powerful enough to crush a horse or a man with ease. Its face bears distorted human features, twisted into a grotesque mockery of humanity, uncanny enough to unsettle anyone who looks upon it. Its teeth form 3 complete rows, like those of a shark, enabling it to consume multiple victims without pause. Its tail is said to end in either a venomous scorpion stinger or a cluster of spines that can be fired like a supernatural volley of arrows. Its eyes glow with a crimson light, and countless accounts describe how its gaze freezes victims in mortal terror. And the most unsettling of all, when the Manticore feeds, nothing remains. Flesh, bone, and even clothing vanish into its maw, leaving no trace of its victims behind. The Manticore is a relentless human hunter, unlike any other predator, for it never preys on animals. It exists solely to hunt mankind, pursuing its victims with a terrifying, almost obsessive hunger. From its monstrous tail it can launch venom-drenched spines, each one capable of paralyzing or killing within minutes, leaving its prey writhing in agony before death finally claims them. Some legends whisper that the beast possesses a hypnotic voice, a deep, almost melodic sound that entrances the listener. Those who hear its haunting song wander helplessly toward the creature, only to meet a gruesome fate. Its speed and strength are unmatched. It moves with the sudden fury of a tiger, yet its leaps are greater, faster, and far deadlier, making escape impossible. Cloaked in blood-red fur, it blends seamlessly with the desert sands at dusk or with the crimson shades of twilight forests, waiting in perfect silence until it strikes without warning. And perhaps most chilling of all, the Manticore consumes its victims entirely. Flesh, bone, even clothing vanishes into its insatiable maw, leaving no trace behind. Where the Manticore feeds, there is nothing left but silence and emptiness, as if life itself had been erased from existence. Medieval travelers often whispered about the Manticore, but rarely with the calm of a storyteller. Their words were filled with unease, trembling at the very memory. In their journals, alongside notes of trade routes and maps of distant kingdoms, appeared strange accounts. Entire groups of men, women, and beasts of burden simply vanishing into the desert night. Nothing remained but silence, broken only by the wind that carried with it the faintest smell of iron and decay. One of the most haunting records comes from a 12th century Indian chronicle. It tells of a great caravan. Merchants, guards, camels, and wagons heavy with spices and silks that set out across the dunes under a rising moon. The night was still, the air unnaturally quiet, as if the wilderness itself was holding its breath. Torches flickered, casting uneasy shadows across the sand. The guards reported hearing strange sounds beyond the circle of firelight. Not the howl of a wolf, nor the cry of a jackal, but something deeper, almost human in its groan, yet unmistakably bestial. The caravan pressed on, fear heavy in the air, when suddenly the screams began. Horses reared and broke free, the camels panicked, and the merchants scrambled for weapons they had never thought to use. Some swore they saw two glowing red lights in the distance, moving with unnatural speed, weaving between the dunes like a predator circling its prey. Then came the silence, a silence more dreadful than the screams. By dawn, nothing remained. No wagons, no camels, no bodies. Only long streaks of dark blood stained the sand, trailing into the empty horizon where the desert swallowed all. The survivors? There were none. The chronicle ends with a single chilling line. The beast leaves no trace of what it devours, save the terror etched forever into the memory of those who hear its tale. Scholars often dismiss the Manticore as a misinterpreted animal, perhaps a tiger, lion, or another predator roaming the steppes of India and Persia. The scorpion tail may have symbolized humanity's dread of venomous creatures. Yet some psychologists argue the Manticore was never meant to be an animal at all, but a mirror of the human subconscious, a monster with a human face to remind us that the greatest killers walk on two legs. And here lies the most unsettling twist. In every version of the myth, the Manticore preys only on humans. Could that be mere coincidence? Legends are one thing, but what if I told you there are more recent tales too? In the 19th century, reports surfaced from the Persian plateau of villages attacked at night by an unseen predator. No wolves, no raiders, no armies, only scattered poison spines left behind. The military reports never reached the public, but locals insisted that the Manticore still prowled the desert under cover of darkness. Even in recent decades, legends flare up. Explorers vanishing in the jungles of India, strange tracks in the sands of Iran, and bizarre accounts of mutilated corpses with no bones found nearby. Are these mere folk tales, or evidence of something truly lurking beyond civilization's edge? Rational explanations are always offered. Fear of venomous animals, exaggerated tiger attacks, or the distortions of travelers' tales. But the Manticore's uniqueness is not in its body, but in its message. Its human face reminds us of an uncomfortable truth. Humanity itself is the deadliest predator. We are the only species that kills its own in mass numbers, that wages wars, that exterminates for pleasure. The Manticore, the man-eater, is not simply a beast of legend. It is our reflection. We fear it not because it exists, but because in it we recognize the darkest part of ourselves. The Manticore may be just a legend, a creature born from the fears and imaginations of ancient storytellers. Yet its image, a monster wearing the face of a man, carries a message that echoes across centuries. It reminds us that the most dangerous beasts are not always hidden in deserts, jungles, or the shadows of myth. They live within us. Humanity itself has proven time and again to be the only predator capable of destroying its own kind on a massive scale. We wage wars, we consume the Earth's resources without restraint, and we harm one another not for survival, but for power, greed, or hatred. The Manticore is terrifying not because it exists in the wild, but because it forces us to look into a mirror and see the savagery we often try to deny. Its hunger for human flesh symbolizes our own self-destructive tendencies, the way we devour ourselves, our societies, and sometimes even those we love. The question is no longer whether the Manticore is real, but whether we have the courage to confront the beast that stares back at us from within.
If you're intrigued by the world's most mysterious mythical beasts, don't miss the next episode, where we explore the Oni, the fearsome demons of Japanese folklore. Horned ogres wielding immense strength, known for their cruelty and bringers of chaos. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's dive deeper together into the world's myths and mysterious creatures. Thank you for watching, and join us for the next episode. And if the sands fall silent and shadows move, beware. The Manticore leaves nothing behind.